Hey, Gail.
Hello, I'm just figuring this out. Good morning. I mean, well, I don't know if it's morning for you.
It's evening here, but that's okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
Here we go. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
Right.
Jenny's cousin.
You're what?
Jenny's cousin.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good on you. Yeah.
thank you.
So where are you up to on this journey?
I'm just kind of new to what you're doing. I'm not even sure how to answer that question.
Well,
Just
that's
sort of
probably a
learning.
good answer in itself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm late too. I tried to be here
Yeah.
for 7, but
No
just
worries.
getting
Yeah.
the coffee started.
Yeah. Well, you're the only one that's turned up so far, so you've got the chair. That's good.
Oh, well.
Mm. Others will turn up a bit later, probably. What time is
Okay.
it where you are?
7:08 a.m.
Right. Okay. So it's still fairly early. Yeah. Yeah. Let's 10:08 p.m. here Saturday night.
Oh, yes. 2:08
Yeah.
p.m. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Saturday morning for you?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So something about this, something that Jenny's told you has seemed
Um,
attractive to you?
she's just said that it's about really a new way of looking at things, and I was hoping to join and just find out a little bit more about it because she's very interested in it, and I wanted to learn more and understand a little bit more what it's about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So what has she told you about this new way of looking at things?
Um,
Or rather, what have you interpreted from what she's told you?
well, that's actually I it's really difficult to understand and to put into words, actually. Hmm. Just basically, all I can really say right now
Yeah.
is just a new way of looking at things, a new way of thinking.
Yeah. Well, that's all true, I guess. Yeah. So would it be accurate to say that you've not been a seeker? You've not been
Yeah,
a
I don't even know what
spiritual
that
seeker?
means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Would you expect an improvement in your life experience from something like this, maybe, but something? Is there room for improvement in your life? Or let me be more direct, do you find yourself suffering? Would you call it suffering?
No, I don't feel that I suffer.
Hmm. Okay. Do you get triggered by circumstances or people or whatever into uncomfortable emotional states?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes to that.
Hmm. But you don't call that suffering.
Not the. Yeah, I guess I find it uncomfortable, but I didn't think of it as suffering. But
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
those
yeah.
are two, or maybe it's just a choice of words.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a real problem with this stuff, and that is that language doesn't do it justice. It gets really
Yeah,
hard. So we're going to use analogies a lot, metaphors a lot to point to certain things because there is no language that does it justice. Yeah. So so of course, the idea of suffering kind of how we interpret that could be, something that's pretty severe when in fact what we're just talking about is discomfort as it happens. So how often would you say you get triggered? Would that be a daily event or multiple times a day or once a week or once a month? How often? Just, I mean, no need to be accurate here. Just what comes to mind? What's would you say happens for you when you get into that uncomfortable situation?
I guess I would say I feel anxiety
Right.
when
Yeah.
I get into certain situations. Yeah,
So how
and I'm
often
not
would you experience that?
um, throughout the day.
Oh, okay. So pretty much every day at some point.
Yeah,
Okay. Right. Well, that's certainly something we can look at, hey? Yeah. So can you imagine not experiencing that discomfort?
yeah. Usually I don't when my mind is busy. If I'm busy, then I don't feel it. But
Right.
I guess sometimes I do. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So one of the things that seems to be accurate for me is that it's usually family that trigger us into those states. Somewhere, our original family or our current family. That sometimes it's work, sometimes it can be a variety of conditions that trigger us into that state. What would you say is your most prominent triggering circumstance?
Um, it's really hard to pinpoint, to be honest with you.
Hmm. You don't have to pinpoint it. I mean, that's not that important, but yeah. Okay. It's certainly definitely stuff that we work with here is that kind of stuff. But you're going to hear some pretty weird stuff if you haven't been exposed to it before about this kind of stuff. Mm. But essentially, so it's not it includes everything here, or rather, it doesn't exclude anything. Right, in terms of where you might describe it as psychology, but it's not psychology in itself. It's not spirituality. That's a big misnomer. So when we say, "Have you been a seeker? Have you been a spiritual seeker?" is often a more common phrase used. So that is people who are seeking for what some would describe as enlightenment. Right? But that's a bit of a weird one. I don't go along with that one. But let's say waking up, and waking up is another weird concept if you've not been exposed to that before. So have you ever come across um, any people that might be referred to as gurus from the East? Have you come across anybody? Have you done any meditation?
Oh, no, no.
Oh, okay. So you you're brand new to this kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So to to kind of put it in a nutshell, and I really don't want to scare you off with this because it is a bit pretty weird if you haven't come across it before, right? And that is that, well, what we're on about is really is what I call waking up. right? And what waking up really is a shift that will take place. That when I say a shift, a recognition that will change your perception of things, right? And that will happen. There'll be a variety of those that will happen as we discover things. And so my whole job, if you like, is to help you to discover, not to give you information, not to tell you
Mm.
stuff, but we will be talking like that. We'll be talking like I'm telling you stuff, and we'll be talking like I'm giving you information. But the whole point of it is to point to something for you to discover in yourself. And when you do have those discoveries, and they're yours uniquely, I can't tell you what they're going to be, those discoveries will cause you to look at things differently, right? So a good attempt at a description about what will happen is as we go along is that the same things that trigger you will probably still occur, except you'll see them differently.
Mhm.
And so the consequence is that you won't have that triggering reaction that takes you into an uncomfortable place. Now, there's a whole lot of possibilities. Let's say a lot of theories about what might be behind the situation or why it might be happening and so on, but they're all quite irrelevant. They're just stories that we use um, to look at what actually goes on, for you to look at what actually goes on inside you. And so the end result will be that the same situation that causes you to get into an uncomfortable place now will occur, but you'll see it from a different perspective, and you won't get into that same uncomfortable place. What will happen is that you'll not have the same reaction to it. So what it comes down to, in a sense, is there's a story I have that might explain it, and that says that all kids suffer trauma. Everybody. There's no exceptions to that. Now that trauma can be anything from, on one really bad extreme, could be abuse, physical abuse, where they get bashed all the time by their parents or whatever, right? Or it could be the other end, where they get occasionally yelled at by their mother, right? But they still experience it as trauma. And the consequence is that the conditioning, and you're going to hear a lot about conditioning, the conditioning means that people have a view of themselves, and that view of themselves, those stories about themselves that are believed, will elicit a certain reaction. Right? So if somebody tells you you're a horrible person, you're a really terrible, horrible person, and you feel really bad about that, right? For a whole lot of reasons, you could be feeling bad about that. Could be that you actually believe it yourself, even if you're not aware of it, because you believed it once as a kid, and you just got that that became a habitual reaction, a nervous system reaction, and then what happens is that you avoid that reaction, right, until somebody comes along and triggers it, and then you're faced with it. And of course, the only thing you can do is feel horrible, and you hate them for doing it, and you want to avoid it, and you do whatever you can to not feel that bad feeling. Right? So this is the kind of thing that we're looking to discover, not the details of it, not what actually caused it, but rather that you have a belief about yourself that you take to be real, you take to be actual, you take to be more than a belief, more than a story that you've got that you believe, and that causes you to try and avoid the uncomfortable feelings that come up when that gets triggered. So what we're looking to do is use the triggers as a way of recognizing that there's something we're trying to avoid, and the consequence is we end up not trying to avoid it, no resistance to it. And
Mm.
the end result of that is that we make use of those things when they turn up, and that changes them. And so we end up not being. So when you get triggered into feeling uncomfortable, it's going to be an affront to your idea of yourself that takes you into that discomfort. Uh, So what you'll hear is also references to the fact that there's no little Gale inside your head pulling levers and manipulating things. There's no actual self there running the show. What happens is that you respond to circumstances, and those circumstances are infinite and complex, and a lot of them are really, really subtle that you're not even aware of. But those things that you respond to are what shape your idea of yourself. And your idea of yourself we call identification. So what we're looking to do is look at what it actually goes on, not the stories that you've been taught, but what actually happens. Here she is. You see Jenny?
Yes, I see her.
Yeah,
She's on mute.
Oh,
Oh, not anymore.
yeah,
Good morning.
yeah.
good morning.
So I have to say, Jenny, you did a really shitty job of explaining this stuff to Gail.
I know, Vince. Well,
Yeah,
I wish I heard what you told her, but I'll get the recording or she'll tell me.
he'll tell you. Yeah.
Mm. Sorry, Gail, but you know me.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay, darling. I'm just going to
You're
step
good.
off camera for 1 minute if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
just going to
Yeah.
grab my drink in the kitchen. It keeps buzzing.
Yeah, you
Thank you.
do
One
that.
moment.
No worries.
Thank you.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, I've just been trying to explain to her because I've never had anybody that's never had anything to do with this stuff before. And so that was a trying to put it into terms that didn't freak her out and scare her off was a bit tricky.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Yeah. So if I
I-
just said this is sometimes called spiritual seeking, and we're talking about no self, she'd just
yeah.
go, "What the hell?" I imagine she would anyway. Yeah.
Well, I thought I did. Geez, I guess I maybe then I don't get it.
Mm.
But I know that's the no self, definitely. Like that's 100% I understand that that's what it's about.
Well, that's true in from one perspective, but that's not the primary thing. That's just something that happens. Although I have to say that places like Liberation Unleashed and a whole lot of the Neo Advaita people and so on, they hone in on that as the first place to go. But
Yeah.
I can only see it as a very, very much a secondary thing that turns up. So rather than discover that there's no self and then discover the other things, I see it makes a lot more sense to me to go the other way around.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So the no self will be something you discover. If I tell you there's no self and then you go looking to confirm it, you're just lost in the head.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So it's a lot easier for me the way I see it anyway. It's a lot easier to me to help you recognise that there's no actual control. And when you see that there's no control, it's obvious that there's no self.
You know what? That now makes sense because I'm just trying to see the no control part now,
Mm,
whereas it's been all no self focus
yeah,
for a long. Yeah. Well, okay.
it's kind of easy to get lost in concepts about
Yeah.
this, and so when somebody tells you there's no self, you kind of want to understand it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
of course, that locks you into your mind, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
But see, no self can only be experienced.
Right. Right. Yeah, I see the catch there, how you could just spin forever with the no self.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm
And
just
although
getting,
it's also true to say that the no control thing again is something to be experienced, but
hmm
but you can lead to it intellectually a bit easier than you can lead to no self intellectually. Yeah,
yes. And I'm just learning that like this week with our
yeah.
call, a short bit on the call on Thursday there, when Jason pointed out to me when I said I felt bad about it being dark. And he said, did you have a choice? And he really got me there. I'm like,
Mm,
no, I guess not. Like it
yeah,
just
yeah.
happened. And that
Right.
really stuck in my mind. Yeah.
Well, more than stuck in your mind, 'cause I see you when you tell me about it right now, you kind of go, "Oh, it got me," like so that's a shift. That's a realignment of your perspective on things.
Yeah.
Uh, And so what will happen from that is that you'll start to notice that impulses to do things happen way before the mind turns up to say, do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a while before I can really see that.
No,
That's so
no,
cool.
it won't
No.
be. No, it won't. You think it is. You think it's going to take a while for you to get something, but a discovery is instant. When it happens, it's instant. And there will be you'll be walking, and this is an example. You'll be walking and you'll see your foot move forward, and you'll see that your foot decides not to step on a rock. It'll
Oh,
move to the side of the rock or before or after the rock or around the rock somewhere, right? And you'll go, "Oh, my foot did that by itself." And that will just leave you aghast. You'll just be going, "No, I get no control." You see, it'll be an experience like that,
yeah.
or you'll see your hand washing the dishes, and you'll just see your hands doing it, and you're thinking about, what am I going to do tomorrow? Or you'll be thinking about what's going on at work, right?
Yeah.
And your hands will just be doing it, and you'll go, "Oh, there's my hands. Look at that. That's wow. They don't even feel like they belong to me." You see, that's the kind of discovery that we're talking about that will happen, and it happens. Look, everything you do, right? That hand that you've got on your chin, you didn't think about putting it there, did you? It just
No.
happened. It just happened by itself. Did the hand decide? Well, that doesn't make sense. Did the chin decide? That doesn't make sense. But the whole thing just happened. And there's no sense to it. There's no logic to it. It's just a recognition that things happen by themselves. And there are circumstances. Why that hand and not that hand?
Yeah. Because the other one's under my leg.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
I hear what you're saying, and now I'm seeing my hand going like that. And like we notice what we're doing, like we see what
yeah,
we're doing,
yeah.
but that still doesn't tell me that I'm not doing it yet. Still feels like I'm doing it. And I know you know that. Well, maybe you don't have that experience anymore to relate to, but it still feels like I'm doing it.
Only afterwards, only when you think about it, does it appear that you're doing it. So here's a koan for you. What is there before you think about it?
Jesus.
Don't think about it. Discover what is there before you think about it.
Nothing.
What? So does thinking about it bring it into existence?
I suppose. I know that's not to be thought about. That's a koan. I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah,
I better write that down. What is there before you think about it?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, so I mean, the obvious thing with a koan like that is, can you solve it? I'll put solve in quotes because that's not really what we're about. Can you
Yeah.
solve it by thinking about what's there before thinking? Isn't that an oxymoron?
Yeah, it kind of hurts the head.
Yeah, yeah. And it will hurt the head until the head drops out. Right. So the answer is not something you're going to find in the mind.
It's not a thought. It's not another thought, basically.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
all day, every day, there's happenings that happen without thought involved, and
Okay.
you will trip over one of those, and then you'll see them everywhere
Once you've seen it, yeah.
once you've seen it. Yeah.
Like I've had a couple experiences. They're micro, but I was sitting at my desk one time and I saw my hands, but it felt like they weren't my hands. They were just these
Yes.
hands there.
Yes.
Like, I was like, whoa, that freaked me right out though, right? But it was so quick. But
Yes.
I looked down and like those aren't my
Yep.
finger. Yeah.
Yep. And so what happened to you was that it freaked you out, and you how can I put it? You re-established the fantasy world that you take to be normal over the top of it. You backed away from it because
Mm.
it was so unfamiliar that it was freaky.
Yeah. 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 It really got me. But it got me curious too, though. I wasn't
Yes.
like really scared. It just freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. Yeah,
Oh,
you just
okay.
go,
Oh,
whoa, what
yeah.
happened? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That I find interesting. I like to get those freaky things.
yeah, yeah. They can be pretty exciting, yeah.
And then I question myself, of course, like you didn't see that.
Yeah,
The doubt comes in really quick.
yep. So here's the thing. Just for Gail's sake, I'll just go through what I think we went through this one the other day, but right, there's a something to contemplate, Gail. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there, is there a sound? What's your initial reaction to that?
I would say yes.
Right. So the reason I ask that question is because it's a rhetorical question in a way, and that is no, there is no sound if there's no one there. What there is vibrating air, right? The sound makes the air vibrate, right? And it takes an ear or a device, it could be a microphone, but
Oh,
it takes the human ear to turn that vibrating air into a nerve signal that travels to the brain, to the hearing center of the brain, and that hearing center of the brain interprets that nerve signal and gives you the experience of sound. Right?
interesting.
That's the way
Right.
the brain works, right? So whether you're seeing, feeling, smelling, tasting, whatever, they're just nerve signals that come in through those sensory organs that send signals to the brain, to the various parts of the brain that decipher them and gives you the experience of whatever it is. Right? So you don't taste in your mouth, you taste in the brain. The mouth is just the sensory receptor that turns it into nerve signals which go to the brain, and the brain then turns it into what you experience. Right? So the huge ramifications for that are that the whole world that you see, everybody and everything in the world, is actually an experience that your brain is creating. Right? So what we learn from when we're kids is that it's the things out there that we're seeing, the things out there that we're hearing. And it's true that that is the case, but the interpretation that you have is absolutely unique to you. So take anybody in the world, out of all the billions of people in the world, and stand them next to you, and they're going to have a slightly different version of whatever it is they see, hear, taste, smell, etc. Whatever comes into their physical senses will be unique to them, because it's not only your DNA, but also your lifetime of experience that shapes your perception, and therefore your interpretation is unique to you. Nobody else will have exactly the same. So we can both agree that, oh yeah, that's blue, right? But my experience of that blue is unique to me, and your experience is unique to you. But at a superficial level, and this is important, it's a very superficial level, we'll agree that that's blue, right? And so what we do with that is that we build up this thing called a consensus reality, right? We all agree that grass is green, and that, it looks like this and so on. We all agree that clouds are white, even though they're not actually white. They're a variety of white. So if you look at that cup, I'm looking at that cup in front of you right now, and I see a part at the top that's really white, and then down inside it there's a shadow, and it's not the same white. It's a bit grey. You see, and there's a variety of things in that, of colours that we call white, but when we look at it in detail, it's a whole lot of different colours. Yeah, can you see a shadow in it? Can you see it bright in one part and shadow in another part? In that cup, the one in front of you,
Is it me or Gail?
Gail.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to Jenny. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you look at that cup, this is a great example of this. If you look at that cup, and I ask you, what do you see? You're going to tell me you see a cup, most likely, and you're going to see a cup with tea in it, right? But that's not what you see. That's what you think. What you see are colours and shapes and form. Now, if you were an alien and that cup was sitting on the bench, how would the alien know that it's something to be drunk out of, or that it's a container to hold a liquid? Or if it's empty, you put pens and pencils in it. But it's still a cup, isn't it?
Mm.
Because you add a story to it that says this is a container to put liquid in to drink. But that's the story. That's not what you see. It's not what you touch. It's a story that's added to it. You see, so what we're really talking about here is the difference between what is actual and what we think is part of our world. And when we start to appreciate the difference, we start to realize that it's that same process of adding a story that ends up with our feeling uncomfortable with whatever we get triggered. When we get triggered by something, it's because of the story we attach to it, not because of the situation, right? But we're conditioned to believe that they did it to me, or it was this circumstance that did it. But it's this circumstance that triggers something that's inside us. And when we recognize that, all of a sudden, that triggering happens differently. We don't need it to take us to an uncomfortable place.
Well, I wish I could have that change for me when I drive. I was telling Kate yesterday about my drive. Yes, I ended up going the wrong way in a city, I've lived in for 50 years. And I have fucking an hour out of my way almost. There was a bad
Yeah,
snowstorm too. It was horrible, and I'm yelling, of course, and I'm like, how the fuck can I do that? And then
yeah,
I caught myself. I'm like, well, that's not helping the situation, Jenny. Like, you're just
right.
wasting your energy. Just figure it out and you'll get home. And that didn't stop me from feeling
Yeah,
so much.
yeah, that's right. And look, with this process, we don't want it to stop. We don't want you to not do that. What we want you to do is recognize what's actually behind that eruption, that anger, that
Mm,
frustration, that whatever it is that
yeah,
occurred. We want you to see that that's what needs to be looked at and dissolved. Right? Not the anger itself. The anger itself
right.
is just telling you that something got you, right?
It's not going my way.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you get lost in the first place? There's something to be looked at there as well. Say you know it. You've been around for 50 years driving around. You know your way, and yet here you are. It's almost like you intentionally went the wrong way.
Oh, come on. That's
Wow.
mean. That's just downright nasty.
No, no,
Well,
I'm not meaning it to be nasty. What I'm
no,
saying
no,
is
no. I
there are
mean,
circumstances.
I mean, why that turned out that way? Like, come on, pick something a little nicer, you know?
What do you think
No,
happened?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like in such a bad, horrible weather, why would I decide to go the wrong way? And I had an appointment I had to meet for 3 o'clock.
right. And that it
Lord,
certainly adds to the frustration because you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Bash,
yeah,
bash, bash.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And then all the careless drivers were driving fast, and it's like, oh wow, it's a very
Oh
stressful.
yeah, that always adds to it, doesn't it? Yeah, the road suddenly becomes full of idiots when you
Oh,
when
full
you
of
want
them. And it, when I'm not one of them.
to. Yeah, I know you would definitely want one of them. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? Yeah,
That's a very
these are crazy things, aren't they? Yeah,
okay then, Vince. Okay. So for years, I only had a 7-minute drive, and I hate driving. Okay. And a year ago, my job changed. Now I'm driving into a half-hour drive without traffic. I'm like, oh, okay.
Which here means an hour and a half with traffic.
Yeah. And then almost every day now, it's close to an hour getting home because of traffic. And every day I struggle with it and I fight and I yell and I hate it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
are you suggesting that somehow the circumstances turned that way for me to deal with all this anger I have inside of me?
I don't know that we could call it a cause, but it certainly is an opportunity, isn't it?
It is, and I have been looking at it that way. I said there's something for me to it's grit for the mill, you know?
Mm,
What
mm,
how can we accept this every day then in a different way is what I tell myself because it's not going to change. Like, this
mm.
driving is going to be driving and there's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
assholes all the time.
Right. So here's a good one. You've got all of the intellectual understanding and rationale to say it is what it is, and there's no point in anything other than absolute acceptance of that. You
Oh yeah.
understand that at an intellectual level. How come it
Yes.
doesn't happen?
I have no idea.
Right. Well, why it doesn't happen is because of your conditioning and because of beliefs that you've got about yourself.
About myself, about
Yes.
me. Okay.
You know, you've got these stories of Jenny, and one of those stories is Jenny hates driving. And guess what? When you've got a story that you believe that says Jenny hates driving, you feel shitty every time you get in that car, don't you?
Yeah, I'd rather not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're faced with the drive to work, you're not liking it, for
No,
sure.
especially on the way home. I turn
Yeah,
into a bag of poo. Like when I get
yeah.
home, it's like, don't look at me, don't speak to me, just
Yeah,
leave me
yeah,
alone.
yeah. You're exhausted from it all. Yeah, that's right. It's like you've been at the gym doing a big workout, except it's at an emotional level.
Yes,
So for
yes.
sure, of course you're going to be buggered. You're going to be absolutely exhausted by the time you get home. You spend the whole time beating yourself up over it.
Well, I
And
certainly
yet,
do the
and
rest
yet
of my
you,
day.
you, you know that you've got no choice about it. You know that that's just the way it is and you've got to live with it. But you still fight it. That doesn't make any sense, does it? But then this doesn't work at a
Mm-mm.
sensible level. You know what I mean? Sensible. We use these words. This is a tricky one. We talk about sense like it's of the mind, but of course the word literally refers to your sense organs, doesn't it? Of the
Yeah,
body. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't. There's no logic to it, is what I really mean. Yet that's what goes on. Yeah.
okay. I'm
So let me tell you a story about my waking up. This was an interesting one, right? After 45 years of obsessively seeking and trying things, I went into everything that I came across. For 45 years, I really looked hard. I really wanted to wake up. I really wanted this thing called enlightenment. And I was obsessive about it. I mean, I had a big library of books. I had over 100 books and CDs and things that I'd collected. This is way before the internet. And so I worked hard and I tried all sorts of things. I went to meetings for Advaita and I did all these psychological things and so on and so on. Anyway, I was talking to this bloke in America, a bloke called Eric Gross, and he charged me $50 to talk to him, and I paid him the money and I was talking to him. And he said to me as I was talking, we spoke for about an hour, and at one point he said to me, Vince, he said, the mosquito bite of seeking is never going to heal while you keep scratching it. And even when I tell you this story, the hair stands up on the back of my head because that just blew me away, right? I saw what he said. Absolutely. I said, I recognized that this is it. This, whatever my current experiencing is, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, whatever it is it. Full stop. Any idea of wanting to change it is lunacy because it's already happened. I couldn't change it. I could promise myself I'd do better in the future, but that's a story. The reality was this, whatever I'm faced with, whatever my experience is it. And that was such a shock for me that I spent 2 days walking I was in Melbourne at the time in a big city, and I spent 2 days walking around, and the ground came up to meet my feet. And I looked at the trees, and the trees were me, and I were the trees, and I just had this psychedelic experience for 2 days. It was just a mind boggle. Right? And then about a week later, I discovered Liberation Unleashed, and I just really, the internet was getting going, but there was no Zoom or anything like that. And I discovered Liberation Unleashed, and I thought, oh, these are people I can talk to about this stuff, because it sounded very much like I knew what they were on about from the website. And I went there, and the first thing they asked me was, is there a self running the show? And it was so obvious to me that that all there was of a self was stories about a self, stories that I had accumulated. Vince likes this, Vince doesn't like that, Vince looks like this, Vince has these preferences, Vince is good at this and bad at that. There was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories I had about Vince, but they were all just stories. There was no actual anybody running the show. That was really obvious to me. I didn't need to even, I hadn't thought about it before that they asked me. But when they asked me, there it was, boom, obvious that there was no self. But the this is it, that phrase I just lived with for ages and ages and ages. This, which is the totality of my world, which is actually my experiencing. My current experiencing is all I have of the world. I don't know what's actually out there. The absolute is unknowable to me. I just know my interpretation of it. And so all I have is my current experiencing. That is everything. There's nothing other than that. So this, the word this, nothing else. This, that's enough. It's a shitty word, but it's as close as I can get to reality. This. And it's anything and everything that's coming in through any of my senses. And in this case, I'll include my mind. I'll include thoughts. But you see, what's coming into my senses isn't producing my experience. It's my interpretation of what's coming in through my senses that produces my experience. And so the consequence of recognizing that I only have my current experiencing, and I have no idea how accurate that is. And then I kind of laugh when I think about what's accurate, because, you know, so another example that I'll use frequently is that if there's me and a dog and a frog and a cricket all looking at something, or let's say we're looking at a tree, right? And I see it in the way I see it, and the dog sees it in less colours than me, and the frog only sees movement, and the cricket sees it in the ultraviolet. Who's right? Is my interpretation of the tree accurate? Certainly not what the cricket sees, or the frog, or the dog. So what's actually out there is irrelevant. The only relevance is the way I interpret it. That's my current experiencing. So this the idea that any desire that turns up to want it to be different is insanity. But I'm not rejecting that those desires happen. They will happen. So I can want it to be different, but I recognize that that's just a desire that turns up. And that might be in the form of a thought that paints a different picture about what it could have been like, but it's got nothing to do with what it actually was like. Or maybe it has got something to do with that, but it's a picture, it's a story. The experience that I originally had is all I've got. But you see, the crazy thing is that that's only a memory. So when I go, what is my current experiencing? It happens before thought. And so when I remember it, even if it's seconds later, it's thought. And it's not what actually happened. It's just an interpretation. It's an interpretation that my mind, which is conditioned by my experiencing, by my lifetime of experience, by my understanding of things, by what I've read and what I've heard, right? Just as these words will shape your understanding of things and your perception of things. But what is actually there, I've got no idea. And neither do you, but you imagine you do.
Yeah. Like I'm battling, like right now as you speak, if I should be ending the call, leaving the call to go to my grandson's hockey game.
Say that again.
I'm battling inside my head as you're speaking if I should leave and go to my grandson's hockey game, like now.
Yes.
But I want to be on this call. I know this doesn't have a lot to do with what you were just saying, but it was still sitting, it's buzzing in my head,
Yeah, yeah, but it's a great thing. So tell me again, what is it?
trying to make a decision. And then the decisions based on a role that I should be doing something else instead of this.
Right. So
I
you
want to be
see,
I want to be here
yeah,
because I
yeah,
want to build
and you
on the
want to be
call.
there. You want to be two places, right? Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that. Yeah, but can you see that that's part of your experience right now?
yeah, that,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and it's just your experience. It's not. You don't have to do anything about it. You have this experience of wanting this and wanting that. Now,
And
which
that's
one
it.
will win out? Which one will win out?
Right now, it's feeling that I'm not leaving. That feels more prominent because it's almost getting to that time and I'd be late and I'd just be running around chasing my granddaughter anyway, not even seeing Lake play. So I could go visit them after.
Yeah, yeah. So do you see that that line of reasoning just turned up, and it's got to do with circumstances, right? How do you know you'll just be running around after your granddaughter? Experience. You've done it before. Yeah,
Every time, yeah. Which I don't
yeah,
mind. I know that's what's going to happen, and or
sure.
maybe that's
Yeah,
just giving me a reason to not to go and justify it and
yeah. So
obligation.
so do you spiral off into a whole lot of other stories that change how you feel? Do you add stories to like, particularly stories like I'm not going to go, therefore I'm a bad person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only an hour out of your day, Jenny. Like, stop being so selfish.
Yeah, yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, whip yourself. If we got to whip you, can something, a bit of wire is good to hit yourself on the back with. Yeah. Or punch
Yeah,
yourself in the head.
yeah.
Yeah. So why would you do that? Why would you give yourself a bad time over that? If you're not going to go, you're not going to go. That's done. That's done and dusted, right? Let's say, for the sake of language, let's just say that the decision has been made, right? And partly it's to do with the time. The clock has said, if it's getting too late to do that anyway, right? But the decision has been made. So why would you then beat yourself up with the idea that you're a terrible person, you're selfish bitch, you shouldn't be doing that?
Um, because I don't know.
Right,
Because
good,
I
good. Okay, you don't need an answer for it. It's right, it's a rhetorical question again.
yeah, it should be. It's a should. You should be going because you have the time. You yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't want my daughter to think bad about me or like why isn't she here? What did she do
right.
last? She's probably
Yeah.
she may be thinking that,
Yes, it
and
starts to get complex, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, we can, and if we keep going on, we can find a whole lot of other reasons why you feel that you are bad for not doing it.
hmm.
See, so it's the patterns that I'm wanting you to recognize that go on, right? So let me that you drove an hour out of your way and got lost, right? At a weird in a weird way, it was intentional. Right? I know that was not a conscious thing for you. I get that, but there's that at some level there was a reason that it happened. You could drive with your eyes shut, metaphorically, of course.
Yeah,
You know the way. You've
yeah,
been there 100 times. You know the way. There's no, how could you
yeah.
possibly get lost? But you did and drove
So
out of your way. So there was some gain at an unconscious level from doing it.
wow.
Don't look for the
Maybe.
answer. You're not going to find it. It was
Okay.
unconscious.
I think it was so I can connect with Kate again, send Kate a message. I think,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
yeah,
all right.
because I really have this strong feeling that Gail and Kate and I will become like good friends. I don't know,
Yeah,
especially
good
Gail.
stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm trying to be like a cupid for friendship.
No.
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Right?
Who knows? That's right. Yeah, we don't need to find an answer. We just need to
Yeah.
accept that there was something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as soon as we do that, we can relax.
You know what else is pretty freaking weird this morning? It's just us on the call.
Right?
We've got three people from the same city on the call with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Only us. Normally Jeremy's here, right? We're missing Jeremy and Leonard, maybe. But it's this is really super weird right now.
Mm. Yeah. Well, get used to that. You're
And
going
two
to
of them
find
are related,
a lot more of it. Yeah. I
you
call it
know?
serendipity. It happens all the time. It's amazing, and I don't know whether it's caused. Don't worry about that. It's magical. It's a mystery what's behind it, but it happens. Yeah.
I think this is super weird. Don't you guys? Or is it just me?
Well, I've been paying attention to what Todd and Pernilla talk about on the Awakening curriculum, and I was watching Pernilla's talking to you, Vince, when she interviewed you, which is, who was doing the second cover about that, and this idea that I'm not in charge of anything. I'm really not in control of anything,
Yeah.
and I didn't remember that there was a meeting until Jenny texted me and said there's a meeting. And I had a similar response to yesterday because I wanted sunshine. And what I got was 6 inches of snow. For a while there, I was like, God damn it. And then I remembered it's like, this is weather. This is just weather. And
Yeah.
and if I accept that, I live in Canada, first of all, and it snows here in
Yeah.
March, and that the weather changes every day.
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, I was in the sun. I got a sunburn. It was gorgeous. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Now it's fucking freezing again.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
you can see the total craziness of standing
exactly,
outside shouting at the weather to be different.
well, exactly. Or spending my day feeling sad or sorry for myself. And I mean,
Yeah.
I can choose to be home and feel sorry for myself, or I could choose to go, well, here's a wonderful day for me to rest because I've been tired. So take care of myself. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm done fighting. I realize that I have spent my whole life fighting what is,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it should be different. People should be nicer. Wars shouldn't happen. Men shouldn't do this. Everything should be different. And it's like,
yeah.
but
So
this is it.
let's go one step further, right? The idea that you can choose to accept
Yeah.
it, that doesn't work, right?
No, I know.
You
It's
don't
only
choose.
it's this.
Circumstances bring it up, and that's it. Yeah,
Yes, and this is all there is. And but I had an awareness of I had been fighting my whole life.
yeah,
And somehow that
yeah.
awareness was like, oh, it's my fighting that has
Yes,
caused me to want everything to be different, not
yes,
what's going on in the world. It's me fighting what's going on.
yeah, yeah,
Not, and it was like, oh, that's my perception that everything that's going on is wrong. And it's up to
yeah,
me to somehow fix it or make it different instead of instead of just being able to go, okay, this is how it is.
yeah. Yeah, so this is a big one. Acceptance doesn't mean approval.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
Mm.
not.
Hmm.
Absolutely not. And but somehow not fighting makes everything much easier to live with.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. Well, that's a big one too. So I
see,
would say every time you get into feeling uncomfortable, it's because of resistance. It's because you're
yes,
fighting something. Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. And also realizing when I had the understanding that my suffering is no bigger or greater than anybody else's suffering. Everybody has, I'm not better, I'm not special, I'm not different.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
that experience was
yeah,
huge. And then, so that, and then listening to you say, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. And just, when I realized there's nothing you can do about the spring. I can't make it be spring.
mm,
You know? Didn't mean I had the greatest day, but I fought less than I would have.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, so a summary of my story that I told you about me, and I pinched this one from Krishnamurti, but it works. It works for me. I don't mind what happens.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Whatever happens is just what happens. And if I'm lost, well, enjoy the scenery. I might as well. I'm lost. I'm not going to fight about it. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. It's happened.
And it was supposed to happen that way.
Well, I don't know about that, but it did happen that way. Yeah.
Can you, I think you were speaking about that frog and scorpion tail the other day.
Yep.
Can you talk about that again? Say the story again so I can
Yep.
under.
Okay. Well, the story, it's a fable, actually. It comes from, I don't know where it comes from, but probably Eastern religion. And it's the frog and the scorpion standing on the edge of the pond, and the scorpion says to the frog, "Will you take me over to the other side of the pond? I'll jump on your back and you'll take me over." And the frog says, "Piss off! You'll sting me. You'll put your barb into me and I'll die. So no, I'm not going to do that." And the scorpion says, go on, just take me over. I promise I won't sting you." And the frog goes, "Okay, jump on me back." And he swims out, and about the middle of the pond, the scorpion stings him and he drowns, dies.
And the point to that is that scorpion's just always going to be a scorpion, right?
That's right. It's the nature of things. Yeah,
Nature of,
yeah.
and
Now,
that's
it's a bit tricky because we think we know the nature of things and we don't. But
But we do know that it
there's a,
snows. It's
that's right.
we do
That's
know that
right. Yeah.
Toronto sucks, right? I
Don't
mean, it
go
just
out in your swimmers when it's snowing.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's obvious. Yeah,
Yes, and that March is, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. It's going to
yeah,
change. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
huge.
You got to be careful if you apply that one to people because you don't know other
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, but the weather,
Yeah. And the
it's
nature of things, the nature of things, your car and your work and so on, you don't expect
Okay.
things to be unrealistically different to what they are.
So you said you have to be careful if you apply it to people because I would think I would apply that to people because they're going to be who they are no matter what I think or how they should be.
But you don't know who they are. They're going to be who they are is accurate, but you don't know that. You only have your interpretation of it.
Story. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So recognizing when a story turns up and the story turns up that this person is like that. Now, what does
Yeah.
that mean? That they're always like that, or that they're always like that when they're at work, or they're always like that after they've had a fight with their spouse, right? See, you don't know the details. You think you know somebody, but you never do.
Mm-mm.
So what the whole point here is to recognize a story as a story. That certainly you can say, my experience with this person has been that they are always like this when they're with me,
Mm.
right? But you find yourself one day sitting at the same table having a coffee with them, and they start talking, and you suddenly discover something entirely different about them that you never knew about before. You might find that there's a good reason why they're like that. That their wife's at home dying of cancer or something, or or whatever. Or you might suddenly find that no, they've got another side. They just always look really serious, and
Mm.
that they're a bit short-tempered. But you just don't know.
So true. Because I keep telling people at work I really am a nice person, but when it comes to work, it's work.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't tell them any different, Dale.
yeah. So in some cases, it's appropriate to be seen in a certain way to get to have productivity or whatever. Yeah.
At least I think so. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I
Mm.
don't need to be like that in a
Yep.
certain way, but
So
that's a part.
maybe the way you feel about work is as a result of you thinking that you've got to be that way. Possibly, I don't know the case. I really don't know. But if you so this is something that we could discuss too. Roles, roles are something that we identify with a lot, right? And if you go to work and your role is managerial, then you feel that you've got to be very serious and you've got to do it in a certain way, and maybe you don't. But if you have that role and you slip into that role, then you are identifying. There's no flexibility. There's no room to move, and that can be pretty stressful. Right? Now you can still play that role without playing the role, if you know what I mean. Or maybe you don't. Okay, you
No, I
can.
do.
Yeah, you can
I
come
do.
at it from a different angle. Yeah,
Yes. Because when I'm more joyful and fun, it's easier for me. Still doing the same job, but
yeah,
when something light comes through and I'm enjoying it, and it does happen. It happens every day. I'm not a constant fucking bitch. There's a lot of fun times I throw in there for me. Right? There's sometimes I even want to dance down the stupid shop, but I don't. But I'd love to, but I just
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
You know, they'll have music playing, but there's many opportunities where I can make my day much lighter,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm very serious about things, and yeah,
Yeah, so you don't show that bitchiness to me. I
I
I, I
know.
see I see you as a lovely person. Yeah, yeah.
I'm only laughing because I have a relative here who knows, who sees the other side of me.
I love all sides of you. I think you're a wonderful person. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how you express it. I think you're a great person. In your
So
serious mood, your happy mood.
how do you react to that, Jenny? What Gail just said?
No, it's just like, yeah, whatever. She knows I just,
Yeah. Brush it off. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's just because of the stories you've got about yourself.
Yeah.
Mm. So are we making any sense to you with this kind of conversation, Gail?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot more. Yeah. But I like Kate's story about the snow.
It's great,
I
isn't
yelled
it?
at it too.
Mm.
I yelled
I
at it
love it.
yesterday.
I can't find anybody who likes snow as much as I do, right? I love the challenge of it. I love what it does to the city and to the people and gets everybody busy and doing things. I just love the snow. I think it's a great experience. It's something to do, you know, it's opportunity. It's fun. You got to trudge through it, get out your boots, get over all the mountains of snow that they miss. It's all just a wonderful experience. It's something different. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I
it
really
is.
like it.
How about this one, Gail? I'm 80 next year, and I've been to the snow once in my life.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had to
That's
travel a long way to get to see that snow. Yeah,
What did you think?
it was interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually thought about you, Vince. What's it like to live in a climate that doesn't change very much?
Well, it changes. Of course, it changes. Yeah, but yeah,
hotter,
not
right?
not like you, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we might go from like currently it's 26 degrees Celsius here, and
Hmm.
in the midst of winter and the coldest night, it might be 12, 14 degrees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that'd be the coldest. Yeah. But most days it'd be, in the middle of winter, a day in the middle of the day it would be probably 22 degrees.
And in the middle of
Wow.
the summer,
That's in winter. Yeah.
That's the
what's
winter,
it
right?
like in win? What's it like in summer?
It can get hot. It can get quite
Yeah.
hot. Now, we've had in Australia, we've had some of the hottest weather we've ever had, and we actually reached 49.8 degrees in a couple of places Celsius. You could not go outside in that. It
No.
would cook you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but not where I live. Where I live is on the coast, and we get a sea breeze, and it's much more moderate. But that was inland where those temperatures got like that. Yeah. But it's now autumn, or I guess what I don't know about Canada, but would you call it fall too?
no spring. We're going into spring
Oh, you're spring. But what's the other one?
someday. Yeah.
We have four.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the one on that's approaching winter?
Fall.
Fall or
Fall. You're fall. Yeah. Well, we call it autumn, but it's the same thing. It's fall. Yeah. So it's that period between summer and winter. Yeah.
Mhm.
But you're
Whereas
going
you're approaching the period between winter and summer. So it's your spring. Yeah.
yes.
So the snow will be melting, starting to melt, eh?
Yeah, eventually, and then there'll be another snowstorm, and then a couple more. But by May, we'll have leaves on the trees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's I mean, there's that. I like the beginning of every season. That's my thing. I like the beginning. It's when it goes
Yeah,
on for too long. I don't like it when it gets way too hot, and I don't like it. I'm tired of wearing my boots. I've been
yeah,
wearing my
yeah,
November. It's March.
yeah,
I'm done with my boots. It's going through. But I had to look at that, and it's just like this is where you live. This is
mm,
where it
yeah,
can be minus 40 and it can be plus 40.
yeah.
That's how we are.
So that's a classic one too. So my wife, we could because we've had a little bit of rain in the heat recently. It's been quite humid here, which is a bit uncomfortable. Can get uncomfortable. And my wife keeps saying, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to winter." Right? And I can't remember what winter feels like because it's been a long time since it was winter. But even if it was yesterday, I probably couldn't remember what it felt like. I could remember that it was, but I couldn't remember what it felt like. Right? And so the idea of wanting it to be different to what it is, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
Is
Absolutely crazy.
it is just what it is, and I can't do
Exactly.
anything about that. Yeah,
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, and that was my understanding of um, I my story was that I needed to fight everything all day long because
yeah,
that was my experience as a very young kid was that I had to fight to stay alive,
yeah,
and I carried that through and believed that's what life is: fighting,
yeah, yeah,
resisting, trying, pushing, pulling, trying to control. And now I
yeah,
understand
yeah,
that's where all my suffering comes from now. And
yeah,
that's why your meditation was so good, the one that you sent me, uh, about just taking all those little fighters and the little kids who are running away and all those little parts of me, loving them and
yeah.
holding them, bringing them here now where they
Yeah.
are so. Okay. Yeah,
And that's the end of fighting, isn't it? Or at least it's a move in that direction. Yeah, yeah. I do remember that once, way back when I was young, I thought to myself, maybe if I get into politics, I can bring about a change. And then I realised that all the politicians are corrupt in their own version of it, their own way, and that would happen to me if I got into politics. I wouldn't end up changing anything. I'd just end up being corrupted by whatever corrupts them. So whatever version. So even the good ones are corrupted in a way. They're married to the system, and it's jobs for the boys and all of that kind of stuff. That you
yeah, and
know,
they may go
yeah,
in there with the best intentions, but then they
yeah,
realize
yeah,
they can't control anything either.
yeah. And even if I was really successful, I'm only going to affect in a certain area. Even if I became a federal politician, I can only affect Australia. I'm not going to be able to change what's going on in America. So,
Yeah,
so as much as I disapprove of it, I can't do anything about it.
yeah,
It's funny how one person, like Donald Trump, can affect and cause a lot of problems for a lot of other people.
Absolutely, yeah. But he's not one person, right? He's got millions of people behind him that voted for him. And even if a lot of those have now changed their mind because of the reality of it, he's still got an awful lot of supporters there, a lot of other idiots in the world
yeah.
who
And
who
he's like a puppet for a huge, group of people who have a lot
yeah,
of money behind him, and they want this. This is what they
yeah.
want.
And it's another example of, I mean, he is just the most classic example of somebody who has been conditioned to believe the stuff that he believes. I mean, he really believes he's an intelligent person. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You just listen to him talk, and you think, wow, this man is.
Yeah,
I think he's suffering. He's got dementia or something. He's but he thinks he's brilliant.
A lot of
You
other
know?
people must too if they voted him in. And, so,
Yeah,
I just,
exactly.
people shouldn't have
So
to suffer to live. That's
yeah,
all. You know?
so it's an interesting one, and the way I see it is that the that he got voted in for a good reason. Right? He was the wrong person, but he got voted in because the system wasn't working for a whole lot of people. All the poor people were getting poorer, and the rich people were getting richer, and the divide between them was getting bigger. Right? So the poor people who didn't think it through thought he's a man that might fix things. Well, the
Mm.
opposite's happened. He's fucked things up well and truly, and even if he gets kicked out, it's going to take a long time, if ever, right? But we come to believe that we wanted things to go back to the way they were, but they weren't working properly, and they're not working properly in this country either. You know, we've got a growing divide between the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse than it was in the French Revolution when they
Yeah,
brought the separation. Yeah, but I mean, it's been what 2,000 years of this at least that we've been doing
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah,
This is what
yeah,
we
I just
do.
want the tariffs to go away. That's just
yeah.
ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Mm,
Adding an additional cost to us for no benefit at all. Just no
yeah,
benefit. It's just
yeah,
horrible.
yeah. There's a lot of
It
really
affected
crazy
our
stuff
economy.
around. Yeah, and a lot of people in this world have died because of it.
It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it should, it's,
Also, just what happens. Yeah.
yeah, just what
I
happens.
mean, we think if we lined up Putin and Netanyahu and Trump and shot them, that we might fix things, but we wouldn't. There's people that would step into their place immediately, doing exactly, if not worse.
Like
And
Iran.
we could include the new Ayatollah and the man in North Korea and all that too. But same deal. If they were dead, somebody would step into their place.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And there are some stories circulating around on the internet, people saying this is what needs to happen because there needs to be a light shown on all of this corruption. It all needs to come out,
Absolutely. And
or
I
it's going to.
suspect that's one of the good things that'll come out of it.
Well, I would imagine. I mean,
Mm.
perhaps someday there we will have some leaders who will really actually do something about things like the Epstein files and stuff like that. But as long as all this stuff is hidden and allowed, then it just
Mm.
goes on. And that's kind of like me. I have to go into my own basement, shine the
Yeah,
light on all parts of me that are lonely and afraid and terrified and think that I'm justified by getting angry at this person or that person. And
yeah.
that's how I'm going to clean out my own business. Maybe that's what's happening in the world. I don't know. I would hope
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I would love that to happen, but I don't know.
No, I had a story once. I actually did some work on it. I built a website and anyway, the idea was if we could get mindfulness into schools, starting at a kindergarten level, then it
Yes.
would only be 30 years before those kids
Yeah.
who would be a lot wiser because they would know about what their thoughts did to them. They'd know
Yes.
about conditioning. 30 years later, we would have adults that could do sensible things in the world.
Yeah.
But, when I had that first thought, it was about 50 years ago,
Mm.
and hardly anything, a little bit has, but hardly anything has happened about that yet.
Yeah.
So we've still got traumatized kids
Yeah.
growing up who are going to be responding to their ego,
Yeah.
and the people who go into positions of power,
Yeah.
politicians, police, etc., it
Hmm.
attracts the worst of our society.
Yeah.
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 So, I could say thank God I'm going to be dead before.
Oh, Jesus.
Me too. That's me too. It's like I'm gonna be 70. Good. 80's not far off. I don't think I'm gonna live much past 80 at the
Who
most.
knows? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm excited about it already. Yeah.
So what we can do is only at a personal level, right? And if we can move into a place of equanimity, calmness, peace, whatever, that kind of stuff, if we can move into that, then that affects those around us. That affects the people in our social circles, that in our families and so on. And you could, if you look at the internet, you can go from, well, what's I don't know, like 20 years ago, you might have found Alan Watts on the internet, and that's about it. Not
Yeah.
not many more, maybe Nisargadatta and whatever. And then along come Eckhart Tolle and so on. And now they're everywhere. There's
Yeah.
millions of them. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in the world who are recognizing this stuff that we're talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now maybe that's going to be a long time before they reach a critical mass, but maybe it will happen one day.
Yeah.
I like to think it's a good story that makes me feel good to think that one day sensibility will overtake stupidity.
Yes, and that love will be more powerful than the attraction to money, right?
Yes.
Kindness. Great story. I don't know if it'll, I mean, I don't believe it'll happen in my lifetime, but I was listening to you and Pernilla, and you were talking about Liberation. When you found Liberation Unleashed, it had just launched like a week previous. And
Mm.
now, I mean, they've got
Yeah.
thousands and
Thousands of people. Yeah.
people that are coming here, people that are, doing Todd and Pernilla's work. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, there's four of us here on this video, but this is one that will get posted on YouTube, and it'll probably get looked at by around 200 people. Wow,
Yeah.
that blows me away. I think I don't even know who they are. I have no idea, but they keep coming back and looking every week. They're looking, so
Yeah.
they must be getting something out of it.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
Mm.
I think of it, I have a postcard of just a drop of water going into a lake and the ripples. And I look at that a lot because, I mean, and you were talking about this with Pernilla, like for me to be here now with, the three of you is fucking miraculous. Like
Isn't
it
it?
is just
Yeah,
the things that had to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
all that suffering I went through is why I'm here.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, every
And
little
and do
bit.
you get that, Jenny? No control could have done it.
No, I mean, and if I was in control, I mean, I'd be shooting heroin right now. That's my solution to my pain.
Mm.
But somehow
Yeah,
that
things
didn't work
happen.
any longer.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I have no idea how that happened.
Well, I'll tell you, it happened because of everything that's ever happened since the beginning of existence, or before
Exactly.
that, if it's a thing,
Yeah,
had to happen the way it did for this to be happening. So there
exactly.
you go. That's pretty
Yeah,
amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that's
yes.
how it happened. Yeah.
All the way back to whatever happened to bring this
Yes.
all about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Bang, whatever it was. Pretty cool.
It would
That's
just take
magic.
it would just take a drought of your Stone Age ancestor for the food not to be available, and
Yeah,
you wouldn't be here. That's all,
exactly.
that's all it
Mm.
would have taken. Yeah.
I have thought about that, like going back and back and back and back and back. Like it's infinite. To me, it just keeps going. So you don't know where you're from, your ancestry, and it is amazing if my grandparents didn't meet, and and then Gail, and if our families didn't, it's just
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you can take any aspect of that. I mean, I just talked about, say, the food that your Stone Age ancestors, but you can go any you can say, for me to be here right now, sitting in this car talking to you, the internet had to be invented.
Yeah,
The
so
software that we're using had to be invented. Now, who did that? I don't even know who invented it. Is it one person, or was it an evolution of whatever? But there it is. That happened, and and for that to happen, that person's ancestors all had to have food and shelter, and they had to fuck when they did. It all had to happen exactly the way it did, right? And those ancestors, they had to have all of their conditions had to be right. And every one of those conditions was dependent on other conditions.
which
Right?
again is just showing us no control.
That's right. And it's also
I'm
showing you, and this was a big experience for me, that I could start with the fact that I'm thinking about this. And from that I go, oh, okay, I have to have a mind that can work the way it did. And it had to be trained the way it did. And I had to have all my experiences the way it did for me to be thinking about this. And then whatever turn, and so the conditions that are involved in me being here, they had their conditions, and those conditions had to have their conditions, and those conditions had to, and it spreads out to everything. It's literally the butterfly in the Amazon had to flap its wing exactly the way it did for me to be here doing this.
That's what that story means. Yeah.
And the brilliance of that shows that nothing is separate. Everything is dependent on everything else, and it's connected. There is no separation. Now then, if we invert that, we go, not only is there no separation, but that means oneness. Everything is part of the same thing. There's no separation at all. Wow. Now that means that I'm connected to Trump.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
got
And
to
we're
be
breathing the
exciting.
same air, and we're all breathing the same air, and we've been breathing the same air forever. I'm breathing
yeah.
Abraham Lincoln's breath right now.
You can go even further.
Yeah.
Jason says frequently, stardust. We're all made up of stardust. And that stardust was once not even in this galaxy, but, and here we are made up of that. That's also, so we don't just extend out to the world, we extend out to not just the universe, but to the whole galaxy, to what's beyond, and we just don't even know. It's just infinite, that connection.
Yeah, and it's amazing that whatever this experiment is, whatever this that we've all come from this conditioning of believing that we're separate, individual. We have to fight so hard. We're all alone. Poor me. It's so hard. And that's what's in our mind. Not we're not trained about this. We're all one or anything. We're trained in this little
Yes,
sense that we're
we
alone.
believe in the separation.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
and so the ramifications just keep piling on. So when you recognize that you're connected to everything, there's nothing to fight. There's nothing to be critical of. It is just what it is. It all just is what it is. Right? And so when I say I believe that a fundamental basic human nature is good, is love, is wanting good things. It's compassion and beauty. It's all there. It's a basic thing, and that I see that there is no such thing as evil in this world. So the people that do things that I call bad, they're sick. They're conditioned. I can see quite clearly that they're conditioned in such a way that they have such a low self-esteem that they think that they've got to be a pedophile or have power or whatever in order to feel okay. Well, that's just corrupted, isn't it? It's just sheer corruption. It's the result of abuse, of feeling abused. So I can forgive it. They can't help them. They can't. They don't do it on purpose. It's just the way they are. And I can feel sad, but I can also feel a lot of love, even for fuckwits like Trump. I know that sounds a bit oxymoronic, but it's, he can't help it. I get that. It's wrong, it's bad, but he can't help it. Well, he's
Yeah,
doing his best. As
yeah,
stupid as that is, that's his best.
yeah. And I think about the little dandelion that grows up through the cracks of the sidewalk, and that, I mean, and I have, I don't know how many, 60 some house plants, and they're all different and they're all beautiful, and they all are so incredibly, like, I don't know how these orchids happen, but that's what life is. And it's our training and our conditioning, like you say, that make Trump who he is, not life itself. Because
Mm,
life makes dandelion grow up through the cracks in the sidewalk. And that's amazing to me.
isn't
That's
it?
just
Yeah. It's a great
and that there are
metaphor for
still,
survival.
yeah, and there are still birds, despite all the pesticides that we spray and all that other stuff. There are still birds. There's hawks that live right over there, and they come and fly over my house all the time. And I see, and it's like, you know, yeah. So I
Yeah.
have to have faith. I have to
There's
have a little,
there's a there's a lot to be awed about. It
yeah,
is
yeah.
it is beautiful. Yeah.
And that I got to Canada is
Yeah.
that's pretty miraculous. I'm not in the States right now.
Mm.
I feel very
And
lucky.
here's an interesting one that when you mentioned Canada, then I thought to myself, if it wasn't for Trump, you wouldn't have the prime minister you've got. You know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he,
That was,
he
yeah.
can,
We were definitely going the other way.
yeah,
We were going all the way. We were going all the way to the right, and then Trump showed up and said, "Oh, good God."
I think he's a
He's
good bloke.
partly
This
today,
one,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we escaped a bullet there.
He was just here in Australia, and I certainly hope our politicians listen to him because he had some good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Mm.
I feel very blessed to be here. Yeah.
I don't follow politics at all, so except that I know I don't like tariffs. That's all. That's it. Because I don't, I come from where you are saying it's like I can't make anything different. I can only take care of my own backyard
yes,
and let that flow out, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But there's a lot of resistance, of course, to the way things are going and how they gouge us with
And
taxes and just so unnecessary. And a lot of people can't afford it, and people suffer from
sure,
it.
yeah,
It's unnecessary.
yeah. And maybe that's one of the reasons why so many people are waking up these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we can't categorically say anything's wrong because we
no,
just don't know the full story.
right.
We can't say anything's right either because same reason we don't know the full story.
It's just
Yeah.
this.
Just this, yeah, that's beautiful. It is. That's a special word for me. I feel it every time I hear it. Oh,
Yeah, me too. Me
yeah,
too. It's like, okay, I'm all right. Everything's okay. I'm all right. It's just this. I don't have to fight. I don't have to fight. It's just this. Yeah. So grateful. So grateful.
And it's still just us. I still can't get over that.
Mhm.
But I'll get over it later.
What can't you get over?
That it's still just us here on the meeting.
Hmm. I think it's great.
I think it's
I-
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty good. What time is it there, Vince?
Ooh.
11:47.
Time for bed for you, probably, huh? Pretty soon.
Soon, soon,
Yeah,
yeah. We don't
yeah.
have to go while we're, yeah, but midnight, I guess, has a special ring about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's another meeting tomorrow for us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
day after tomorrow for me, but yeah, tomorrow for you. Yeah.
How's the future, Vince? No, it's just so.
Yeah.
How is tonight for you?
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
that alone is amazing, and that you can stand in one place in the world where you're over the line. You can have one foot in the past and one foot in the future.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah,
yeah.
And
How
the
you get to
water goes
experience.
this way in one part of the hemisphere, and in the other part of the hemisphere it goes this way down the drain. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
How you got to experience. Gail and I were talking about this last night. How you got to experience the year 2000 before us, and nothing exploded. Right? We all survived. You
Mm.
survived, so you were like guinea pigs for the rest of us. It's like, haha, we're gonna be
yeah,
okay.
we're all watching the TV. It's gonna happen. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how scary that was? Are we going to explode? Or like, it was so
Yeah, yeah,
stupid.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
back in the day, back when we were approaching the year 2000, my wife and I owned a computer shop, and that's what we did for a living. So
Oh,
that millennium bug made us a lot of money. It was,
is
Nuts.
it
that right,
was,
eh?
yeah, yeah.
Stupid. Good for you, but so stupid, eh?
For oh yeah, the whole thing was crazy. Yeah, we didn't know
Well,
what was
just
going to happen. Yeah,
like COVID causing all that toilet paper shortage. What a fucking disaster that was.
yeah. Well, right at the moment, we've got this stupid situation in Australia where as soon as they mentioned that oil tankers couldn't get through, everybody ran out
But
and panic bought fuel, causing a shortage.
Shortage.
Yeah,
and then prices go up even more than they
the
would have.
prices are way up. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, they've gone
Right?
up. The gas has gone up like crazy
One
again.
yeah,
third.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but the interesting thing here is that, well, I don't. It doesn't worry me. I drive an electric car, and
Uh,
you watch. A lot of people will buy an electric car as a result of this. So it's going to hurry things along. So there's a good thing that comes out of it.
hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll think about that for my next lease. I might try that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. I love electric cars. They're just
Yeah.
beautiful. And mine's an early model one, so it hasn't got nearly the capacity that some of the current models have got. And the ones that are coming out at the end of the year, mind blowing what they can do, you know. So I can do 250 kilometers in mine on a full battery. And the ones that are coming out at the end of the year are going to do 1,000 kilometers.
Wow.
And do you have your
Yeah.
own charger, Vince, or do you have to go charge it somewhere?
Oh, I can do it at home. Well, I've
Yeah.
got solar panels, so it doesn't cost me nothing to charge it when the sun's shining, which
Good for
is
you.
most days. Yeah. So
Huh.
I know I drove. So I was lucky. I play golf with a friend and who owns a Tesla, and he was talking about buying a four-wheel drive to go around Australia. This is just over. This is 3.5 years ago. He was talking about buying a four-wheel drive to go around Australia and then selling it when he finished. And I said, well, don't buy a four-wheel drive. I'll swap you the Tesla for my Mitsubishi Pajero, and you can take that around Australia and leave me the Tesla to drive. So he went for that, and I drove his Tesla around for 15 months. And then when he wanted it back, I went, oh God, this is no good. So we went and bought a cheap Chinese electric vehicle, right? So for 3.5 years, I've been driving an electric vehicle. I haven't had to buy fuel, and I've saved nearly $10,000.
Oh,
in
yeah.
fuel that I would have spent on fuel by
Hmm.
driving an electric vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. I feel good about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna look
And I
into
got
that.
friends who just spent over $200 filling their Pajero, the Prado up. They're, yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll do them
Yep.
for a couple of weeks. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. And I take transit, so I don't have to buy gas at all.
Yeah, you don't have to at all. Yeah, that's a
Well,
good one. Yeah, well, we've got a pretty shitty public transport service here in Australia, where I am at least, because I'm in a little village, out of the capital city. I'm about 2.5 hours north of Sydney, and I'm in a little village with about, I don't know, 2,000 people. So it's pretty small. Yeah,
so you have to drive. Yeah.
yeah. Well, in
Yeah.
Australia, we do drive. Most people drive. Yeah. People who live in the city use public transport, but otherwise it's, yeah. I mean, there are buses, but it's a bit difficult. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And buses are slow. It can take you 3 days
Yeah.
to get somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the buses we have are all school buses, so you have to get on with all the kids and go
Oh,
at the times that they go. Yeah.
oh shit.
That's
Mm.
great. Great.
Yeah. So, Gail, I do hope you'll come back
Oh,
and
yes.
and come back with questions about things. If you've got questions about your experiencing, that's always good value. But don't feel pressured to do that. But it'd be good if you do. Yeah, and you'll talk with Jenny about this and maybe even Kate. But see what comes up. Yeah, yeah.
Good. We'll let you go to sleep, Vince.
Gotta get up
Yeah.
and I need to move.
Feels like about the time. Yeah, yeah. Well, it was my wife's birthday today. She turned 77, and we're
Happy
going out.
birthday, Miss.
Yeah, we're going out to lunch tomorrow, so it'll be a pretty easy day. I don't have to get up early, and yeah,
Well,
it'll be nice. Yeah,
our love. We all wish her a very happy birthday.
yeah.
And thank her for giving you to us for this time.
Yeah, I won't tell her any of that. She thinks all
No,
of this
I'm,
is
I'm
a
sure you
load of
won't, but
shit. Yeah, yeah,
well, you know that. You know.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
all right, lovely.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
See y'all tomorrow.
okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.